let's go to Missouri, Kansas City, maintaining the 3 seed, and they get Miami coming to town. Dolphins at the Chiefs. This is the Saturday night game on Peacock. Dolphins had a rough end of the season. They've had a ton of injuries really plagued them lately. And the Bills kind of walked the dog on them. Tua made that awful throw at the end of the game. He looked down the receiver.
Talk about mistakes.
Man, he looked him down from the pre-snap. He knew where he was going with the ball the whole time. The dude was double covered. No chance. Dolphins go to Kansas City. Let's bring this up. This is the comparison in stats from their matchup earlier this season, Week 9, when they played in Germany. Total yards, Miami 292 to Kansas City's 267. Pass yards, almost identical. Rush yards, the edge to Miami. First downs, the edge to Miami. Third down conversions, I guess the Chiefs have a slight edge. Both struggled. It was a defensive game. And if you remember, the turning point in the Week 9 matchup was the fumble that Trent McDuffie caused on Tyreek Hill. They returned. I think it's going to be much of the same. I have said Miami are pretenders all year. I never bought the hype. They're, a track meet. They can play good against bad teams and they struggle against good teams. They average like 19 points against good defenses. Kansas City has a top 3 defense, especially in points per game allowed. Also, Miami is terrible in cold weather. They have to go to Kansas City and play in 40-degree Arrowhead with that crowd rocking. I know Kansas City's offense isn't what it's been in the past, but I don't see any way anyone would pick Miami. Is there a chance it could happen? Yeah, but it would be a huge upset.
Yeah, I haven't looked up any of the latest injury reports and who is possibly playing for Miami and who's not, but you could see the deficiencies against the Bills, right? You could see that across the field. I'm actually I don't want to say I'm happy that anybody's hurt by any means, but I think it did help the Bills win a little bit on Sunday night. But my biggest thing to watch this game, in case you were wondering, because I know you were, is which quarterback is able to perform. And I know that's kind of a cliche thing, like, oh, yeah, okay, well, of course it's the quarterback. I mean, which quarterback can win it in the fourth quarter? And we know that Tua is notorious for not being able to pull through for his team in the fourth quarter. We've seen it time and time again where he's just not a 2-minute drill type guy. Patrick Mahomes, he is best in the 2-minute drill. I think he plays a different level of football in 2 minutes than he does any other part of the game, quarter 1 through 3. I know the defense, you said, top 3 defense. We've seen them be a little up and down the last few weeks, so I'm not really hanging my hat on that. But what I am hanging my hat on is you have Patrick Mahomes behind center. And I saw what Tua did on Sunday. It looked sloppy. He had some good throws. The Bills left huge gaping holes in the secondary multiple times.
Kansas
like Swiss
City
cheese.
won't do that.
Kansas City will not do that. Now, if Tua is able to connect with Hill and they can't cover Hill all game, it's going to be a nightmare. And then also the run game for Miami. If that can crank up and they can shut down Kansas City's run game, then that could be another big factor in the game, right? I think the rushing deal has Pacheco versus whichever running back Miami wants to put out on the field that game. They all do good for Miami. I think that could also kind of be how we could see how the game would shake out with the rushing attempt.
I actually think one of the problems for Miami and Mike McDaniel is they don't commit to the run game enough. It'll be going off. They'll be moving the ball at will, running the ball.
And then they'll pass it for 3 downs.
They'll come out and pass it. Exactly, and go 3 and out. It's like, what are you doing?
Buffalo does it too.
Oh, I know. But you're popping off 6-7 yards a run on average, and you're going to throw it. I just don't think they have the personnel, and I don't think they have the experience. I think Miami has to play a certain way. Truly, Ryan, getting that 2 seed and having a home playoff game and home playoff games throughout the playoffs was Miami's chance. The only way they were going to make the Super Bowl is if they were able to host almost every playoff game and not have all the injuries come down the pipe. Kansas City dealt with some injuries too. I know the tackles got hurt in the Week 18 game. We'll see what the status is against as we get closer to the game. But bottom line, we know the Chiefs' offense is going to struggle, but I think they've embraced their identity. We know Miami's offense is going to struggle. This is going to be a defensive game. I'd be shocked if we get over 37 points scored. However, even if it's close, give me Mahomes, like you said, late in the fourth quarter to make a play. I don't know how far Kansas City can go, but I think they should win this one. If they don't, it'll be a big disappointment. And Miami's going to have a lot of questions to address in the offseason.